Let's talk about divine guidance. So you're stepping into your power, you're saying yes to your path, surrendering to the idea that you are being divinely guided. It's not up to you. You're saying yes every day. You're connecting to source, and you are being shown where you're supposed to be led. Getting into this is a practice, because you're going to have experiences that are going to draw you back into the old patterns and old way of doing things. You're going to find yourself confused. You're going to find yourself back in a place and wondering, well, wait, I think I've just gone 10 steps back. We need those experiences to go back and forth to figure out what our patterns are. Someone can tell us, I can tell you, but until you have your own experience to determine what your patterns are and your behavior is, that heightened awareness. So we start with awareness. We're aware that this is something I do. I doubt. I go back to this place. I'm aware of this pattern. And when we're back there and we discover it, all we have to do is say, okay, I'm aware. I'm here, I'm aware. You can write it down if you want to get it out of your body. So we're going along, we're falling back into these patterns, but we recognize that we're just falling back into those old patterns because it's essentially showing us that that's the pattern. So many people have patterns rooted in family stuff or religion or just societal norms of like, this is how it has to be. A client recently shared that as he's going along on his journey, he understands this kind of wake up, this kind of spiritual living, and wants to go more and more toward that, but will find himself in his head at moments going, well, wait, is that crazy? Is that this? And what I explained was, but what we're releasing is we're releasing the template. We're releasing the template of black and white. Nothing is good or bad. So just like when someone is high, 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 or low, 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 those are both out of balance. We want to be in this neutral space, and that's how we approach being divinely guided. So when we're stepping into our power and we're saying yes to us, we are the new template. We are honoring us so deeply, and the things that bring us back to these places of pain or trauma or things we have to, patterns, things we have to be in them to heal them, to feel them, to heal them, and then we move forward. So it's very, very common that when you do get drawn back into something and you feel like you've gone 10 steps backward, you're going 10 steps backward to be in it. We have to go back to everything that we didn't even realize we tucked away or got shoved off in a little corner of our body. We have to go back there to feel it, to release it. And then it's gone, it's not running us. That is the experience of the work and working through the different layers of waking up to your power. So we're surrendering to this idea that we have to know and understand, because when you step into divine guidance, you don't know or understand anymore. It's not going to intellectually make sense, and everything that you're journeying through has to be brought down into the heart to be felt. And we're living out of that space. We're living out of that heart space of completely being open, completely being raw, completely being vulnerable to what it is that we're up against or experiencing. And as we share this with others and as we're vulnerable, we continue to get essentially blessed with more guidance, because it's not something for us to keep inside. When we're keeping everything inside and thinking we're the only one that is dealing with it, now we are stricken with anxiety. We're stricken with just heavy emotion, heavy feeling that we're not. There's something wrong. There's something not right. God, the universe, guides come through people, and they come through people because, or symbols or signs, because there's only so many ways that we can have that clear guidance. So some of the things that I use that are really, really helpful, some tools around divine guidance and just completely trusting it, is we have angels, guides, elementals, these other sources on different planes that want to help us. And when I go into guided meditation, oftentimes with individuals, there'll be specific things or people that come up for them that I get to share. But everybody has it. And if you want to know who yours are or what they are, ask them to show themselves. Ask them for help and ask them to show themselves. And so they can't really help you unless you offer that up and ask for it. So step one, that's a really cool option to have that guidance. And have come across things like angel cards. So here's a deck of daily guidance from your angels. And Doreen Virtue makes a lot of different decks, and I have a couple of them. But this deck is the most recent that I've purchased, and it is basically really nice affirmation for people to have more words put to maybe what they're trying to decipher through. So oftentimes you're going through, you're really trying to listen and understand, but there's that self-doubt that comes in, so you're not certain. So there will be things, and you can ask, dear guides, dear angels, dear God, dear universe, I need a sign, I need a symbol, and can you make it really, really, really clear? Because I want to really, really know that this is right, and you know me, and you know everything I'm dealing with, and sometimes self-doubt runs me. So you can just be really, really real with these guides, these angels, and start with little things. I use it all the time for parking spots. Dear elementals, dear guides, I'm pulling up to this coffee shop, I need a front row spot. I'm pulling up to my office, I need a front row spot. And if you just start with little things, because now you're like, it's almost like a little sillier, and it's a little easier for you to believe. But if you think back to when you were a kid, or you watch kids, if you have kids, or you have kids that are around you, they just naturally connect to this divine source. There's nothing mucking it up. And society, over time, closes it down. But with this new wave of consciousness and energy, these kids that are coming into the world, they actually can't be shut down. So parents, maybe you're watching, you're learning this information so that you can honor your kid's gift and just realize that, like, oh, I don't have to shut it down, so that in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whenever it is that we wake up, that we have to come back to it. So this is naturally you. This is innately who you are. You're just remembering. You're just remembering that you have this innate intelligence and that you are connected all the time. So start your day with a meditation. Start your day asking to be divinely guided, and say yes. Say yes and say thank you.